It was a day of remembrance that turned violent. In western Ukraine, nationalists attacked veterans and their relatives on Victory Day. People wearing St. George ribbons to commemorate World War II had them ripped off their clothing before riot police fought pitched battles with neo-Nazis. RT's Alexei Yarashevsky witnessed the events.
A holiday for millions, a street brawl for some. Unlike most of the post-Soviet region, on May the 9th, this Ukrainian city became a vicious display of neo-Nazism. Several thousand activists from radical nationalist parties blocked the entrance to Red Army soldiers' cemeteries, preventing war veterans from getting inside and paying tribute. Some in this part of Ukraine do not see May the 9th as a reason to celebrate, believing the Soviet period to be worse than enduring Nazi occupation. The St. George's ribbon is usually worn as a tradition on May the 9th to commemorate those who died in the Great Patriotic War. But on this day in the western Ukrainian capital city of Lvov, putting this on your lapel would have meant serious risk, regardless of whether you are a veteran or not. The ribbons were forcibly ripped from the chests of those who were heading to the graveyards, along with abusive chants such as "Death to the Muscovites," Nazi salutes, hurling rocks and smoke bombs. That is how Lvov marked May the 9th.
Here on this picture are my brothers and my father, the liberator of this land from the fascists. But these people here do not let me come inside the cemetery to lay flowers on his grave. This is a disgrace.
Such scenes surprised even the locals who had grown used to protests on Victory Day. These were the scenes from last year when nationalists wiped their feet on the red victory banner.
I spent 13 years in detention in Siberia. My two brothers were killed at war. Could something like this have happened in a normal country? They're all but.
Their heroes are people regarded worldwide as Nazi collaborators. Replica shirts with the founders of the 1940s insurgent army, Stepan Bandera and Roman Shukhevich, are a big hit here. They are seen as freedom fighters, even though for a while they fought alongside the Nazi army and killed civilians, Jews and Russians, in a gruesome manner.
How the mainstream political parties deal with these sort of movements? Do they encourage them, as we've seen in case of Ukraine when Stepan Bandera, a Nazi collaborator, has been elevated to the status of a hero? Although it appeared to be an anti-Russian protest, but really it was a protest of the demons that the Ukrainian society in this case has to deal with.
And this is only part of a wider picture. The perception of the past is making waves in other former Soviet states, namely SS marches and glorifying Nazi legions in the Baltic states, such as Latvia and Estonia.
The danger is that people are beginning to forget what we fought for and what the veterans died for, as we're seeing the re-emergence of far-right forces and nationalist forces that really in many sense resemble exactly those that emerged with Hitler in the 1930s.
Such behavior still only applies to the minority. Most people in these countries still celebrate history with proper respect. But the ugly scenes in Lvov should definitely alert Ukraine's leadership, especially after demands for a revolution were clearly voiced by the angry mob. Alexei Yarashevsky, RT, reporting from Lvov in western Ukraine.
Well, Dmitry Barbich from Russia Profile magazine says the roots of nationalism stem from the previous Ukrainian leadership.
The figure of Yushchenko was idealized for a long time by Westerners until in the end of his rule he suddenly made Bandera a very controversial extremist figure of Ukrainian nationalist movement. He suddenly made him a hero of Ukraine. In Ukraine for a long time the state was not against this, and now the state is more or less neutral. As you have seen what happened in Lvov, obviously the local authorities did not want to get involved, otherwise they would not allow the young neo-Nazis to block the cemetery.